baby. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast.
What is up, everybody?
Podcast. Talking about bullshit and other things.
And today's podcast is brought to you by my favorite water. If you guys don't know, now you do. It's actually really good for you. It has electrolytes and other things in it, which is really tasty, actually. I would definitely say it's a good buy. It's not, my podcast ain't brought to you by that, but it's definitely, I'll say it again, it's definitely a good thing to drink. But it is what it is. So, we're going to talk about a really, I'll say it again, a really poor date that I went on. And this had to be 2010, 2011, something like that. And I know I just first moved to Florida for the very first time. And my buddy Nick that I was talking to, I think we started talking on MySpace or something before we ever moved to Florida. So, this was like 2009. And I was letting him know I was moving to Florida. And I was like, I don't know anybody. And at that time, I didn't have a car and I couldn't drive, so I couldn't go anywhere anyway. And I didn't know where Gainesville was or Tallahassee was or anything. I just knew my town of Jacksonville, Florida. And I only knew the area where my family lived and my family commuted, because I didn't know anything about Florida. Because we all have that desire when we move somewhere. It's fresh, it's new, but you don't know where anything is. And that is the truth. You move to a town, a city, a state, and you don't know nobody, you ain't going nowhere. So, he recommended like Plenty of Fish or OkCupid. I think it was OkCupid, right? And he goes, hey, it's a place where you can meet people and become friends. And I had no concept of dating websites back then, because I lived in a really small ass town when I was living in California. So dating websites were not a thing for me, because you would type in whatever the website was back then and it would not show up anybody. So again, I didn't know really dating websites, because where I grew up, that wasn't a thing. And you would go, well, dating websites were a thing. Well, in 2009, 2008, they weren't really as poppin' as they are today, so it really wasn't an option for me, and I didn't really even think about a dating website. So he just marketed it to me as a website to meet people as friends. So that's kind of the concept I went into going to meet these people. I was like, okay, it's a friendship type of thing. We're gonna hang out, get to know each other as friends, buddies, and that's exactly what I went into the website as, just friends or buddies. Like I said, I never had any intentions on meeting anybody as a dating purpose, so I ended up meeting this one female. And the reason I tell people it was a very horrible experience is because we went to this place called Miller's Ale House. I don't even know if that place is in business anymore. Like, it was kind of like the Applebee's, the Chili's, the TGI Fridays, right? It was basic, like burgers, fries. You could watch sporting events, and you could watch UFC fights for free, and that's what we did, right? It was kind of like similar to Hooters, if you guys know what that is, but like a little bit more classy, but not classy. I'm a baller, I'm going to Miller Ale's house. No, you only went there to get like the chicken wings and go get a beer and watch football Sundays, because they had all you can eat chicken wings. But seriously, going there, here's the bad part. I went and got one beer, and this girl goes, hey, I'm going to order a pitcher of beer. And I was thinking, oh, okay, that's for all of us. Everybody at the table. And the waitress comes over and goes, so, 2 cups, right? And she goes, ha, 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 ha. What? 2 cups? Nah, that's for me. And I'm like, wait, you're ordering a pitcher of beer for yourself, lady? And she goes, well, Yeah. I was like, wait, what? Huh? Wait, you're ordering a pitcher of beer for yourself on a first date? Are you thinking we're going to get down with the get down, if you know what I mean, baby? Nah. She just goes on to basically get a little tipsy, and I'm sitting here drinking one beer, right? And this is, like I said, the first date I've been on in years. And it's the first time I went out with anybody outside of my family since I moved to Florida. So this girl is literally out here getting smashed drunk on a first date. And she tries to claim that, oh, she's not no alcoholic. She's no drunk. She just has to get a little drinky drink in her to make her feel good and make her feel comfortable. Okay, I get it. Then I gave her to the shadow of a doubt. She got a little tipsy, and I was like, I'm a gentleman. I was like, hey, we can head out and head home. And she's like, okay, cool. She dropped me off because, like I said, at the time I wasn't driving. So she ended up driving home after she sobered up a little bit. And I was giving her the shadow of a doubt. Let's say, hey, let's do it again. Which I had no problem with hanging out with her because I thought she was alright looking. Like, she was like, I'd give her like a 7 out of 10. And then she goes, let's hang out again. So we went to this place called the Jacksonville Landing, which is no longer in existence, but we went down to the Jacksonville Landing to, this time, Hooters, right? And we all know what Hooters is. It's the restaurant where the girls walk around in booty shorts and they're attractive. We went there and got some chicken wings, right? And I was like, okay, this is a good thing. And the waiter asked if we wanted a drink. And I got my typical Heineken, which I normally get. It's a Heineken or a Corona. So that's what I did. I got one beer, and she did the same shit again. Hey, can I get a pitcher of beer? And they're like, 2 cups? And she goes, nah, 1 cup. I was like, again? You're going to get more than 1 cup of? Really? And I started to realize, here's the thing. She ended up eating her food, which she got some little chicken wings, just like I did. And there was this restaurant outside upstairs, because the Jacksonville Landing is it used to be a 2-story entertainment complex with restaurants and like stores and a little club. So what she did was, she ends up, after she drinks her beers, she goes, hey, are you still hungry? I was like, nah, I just ate those freaking like 10 chicken wings. I'm not hungry. And she goes, oh, okay, it's all good. So she goes up to the other restaurant, which was a Japanese steakhouse, to get some sushi. And I'm not a sushi person. I'm not a seafood guy. So she goes in there, gets her food, and then asks, can she get a shot of sake? And they said, sure. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me after that pitcher of beer, you're going to go get a even harder drink and then still want to hang out? Nah. I'm not like that. I'm not like an alcoholic. I don't really drink, especially anymore. I don't really drink. But even at that time, I didn't really get down with the get down of drinking. So I gave her one more shadow of a doubt chance. And this time, we were in Orange Park, Florida, which is a small little town outside of Jacksonville. And we were going to just go to the mall. And like I said, this is like 2010, 2011, so the mall type of thing was still a popping thing. It wasn't everything was on Amazon, so we went to the mall. We had some food. And then I said, hey, how about we go see a movie? Which I was okay with seeing. It was like, I don't know, maybe a Fast and the Furious movie or something. I don't even know what was playing in 2011. Okay, according to Google, it was Super 8. Just got with it with Jennifer Anderson and Adam Sandler, which is a funny ass movie. There's Moneyball. There's Crazy Stupid Love. Let's see what else is out there. Pirates of the Caribbean. There was Planets of the Apes. That movie with Johnny Depp, Rango. So there was a few good movies out there back then, right? So I don't even know, like I said, what movie it was supposedly we were going to go see. But there was I think it was like a TGI Fridays next door to the movie theater at the mall. So she was like, hey, let's go to the movie theater after we go to the TGI Fridays and get some cocktails. Again, I started to see some habits. And the habits were, she wasn't just drinking to have a good time. She wasn't drinking just to relax. It was, she was a bona fide alcoholic. And I said, I'm not getting drunk and going to to the cinema to watch a movie. And she goes, yeah, but it'd make the movie that much more fun and exciting to go get some drinks. And I'm like, you're talking about getting drunk and then going to see the movie? She goes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She goes, if you don't want to, what you could do is just go buy a movie ticket, buy 2 of them. I'll be in here getting my drink on, and then when I'm done, I'll come out and watch the movie with you. I'm like, what? Who does this? And then I asked her clearly, straight up, I'm like, I'm not going to get some alcohol. I want to go see a movie, and that's it. I don't care about you drinking alcohol. It's supposed to be, we were going to go get something to eat and then go watch a damn movie. It's not, hey, let's go to the bar. And I asked her straight up, do you realize I only had, out of this whole time we've hung out, 3 beers, and you've had like 3 pitchers and a freaking liquor shot? And she goes, what, you can't keep up? I'm like, nah, it's not that I can't keep up with you, baby. It's the fact that all you're doing is drinking, and I'm not into drinking. That's the problem. You're trying to date somebody who's not even into the same things. It's not going to work. So what she did was she goes, well, I'm going to go in here and get my drink on. If you want to go to the movies and buy a ticket, I'll meet you afterwards. What I did was I left. I literally walked out and left. And like 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, she hits me up, yo, are you in the theater? Are you in there? Where are you? And I'm like, I'm at my house, baby. What are you talking about? She goes, excuse me, why'd you leave? I was like, I told you, you're in your freaking bar. And I'm not a bar person. I've never been a bar person. I've never really. And she goes, oh, you don't like to have fun? Oh, yeah, I like to have fun. Put me in a mosh pit, baby. Let me go to a rock concert. Let me do other things. Let me go to a comedy club. Those are the things I like. I'm not going to a freaking bar to get stupidly smashed drunk every single time we hang out. I'm like, my intentions were, after I thought about it, I was like, my intentions were to meet somebody that I can settle down with, that I could actually date and have a girlfriend with, not somebody that's just gonna party like it's 1999 and all you're doing is sipping wine, getting drunk. That's not my intentions. That was never my intentions, lady. And you know that's the problem, right, guys? That's the big issue. People don't make themselves clear what they want or what they don't want. So I just like, I'm done. I'm not going out with you anymore. I'm never going to talk to you again, and it's over. And she kept going, what? I ain't doing anything wrong. Maybe you don't think you're doing anything wrong, but when you're not colliding with, when you're just doing this with somebody, and you think it's okay, because as an adult, it's okay to normally drink. I get it. You have, let's just say this can of root beer right here. You have one of these at the bar, right? You go, okay, it's a first date. Me and you are going to drink, have a beer just to get a little bit comfortable, right? You ask the waitress for one of these, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. To have one, maybe 2. But when you're telling somebody on a very first date that you're going to get a pitcher of beer and it's only for you and it's not for no one else, that's when I have a problem. I could see, so basically she probably had more than this full thing full of beer just for herself. And I'm like, that's unacceptable. You can't tell me that this is a normal thing. But I'm guessing for this savage, that's what she did. She just went out and got drunk. I'm like, there's a problem. There's an alcoholic problem, and then there's a party person problem, and then there's a person who just goes out occasionally and has 1 or 2 cocktails, right? I'm the kind of guy, even today, I'll go out and maybe have 1 margarita. I focus so much now on knowing what I want and knowing what I don't want. And I don't want a person that's going to drink alcohol 24/7 or want to go out and booze. That's not for me. If that's for you, I'm totally cool with that, because you could do you. I'm not going to do that. I'm not living that boozing lifestyle. I've done that when I was in college. I went every like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We would have cocktails and drink all the time, and it gets old. It gets very, very extremely old. And the reason it gets old is because it's the same monotonous thing. There's nothing going anywhere. You're just drinking beer, and that's all you're doing. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, whatever. You wake up with a hangover, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. But at the end of the day, trying to meet somebody that can become your significant other, your partner, your your boo thing, you end up with a shit show. And I'm like, I'm not dating somebody that I can't even take to my family because all they're going to do is want to drink. I don't want to deal with anybody who does that. That's not for me. But this stupid ass person was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm only drinking because it makes me comfortable. I get it. You have like 1 or 2 of, let's say, these cans of beer, which is not bad. I'm saying 1 or 2 beers is okay if it gets you comfortable, or you have a glass of wine, right? That's what a lot of people do because they call it a sociable cocktail. Is a sociable thing. You have 2 drinks and you're social. But when you're trying to tell me you're being sociable by having a whole pitcher of beer, nah, that's not for me. That's a raging alcoholic. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm just living my life. And back then in 2010, 2011, 2012, I went through so many shit dates. So many people that were shitty. And this was one of the worst. This is one of the worst dates I've ever been on. Because I gave her the shadow of a doubt. Like, okay, maybe you were scared. Maybe you were nervous. Maybe you were just... whatever. The shadow of a doubt is you might have been a little nervous to actually do a date, right? I get it. 3 dates in a row. And they were pretty much like... one was like... they were like a couple weeks apart. So it wasn't like back to back to back, right? And the dates were like, we talked, we texted, we talked on the phone a lot. So it wasn't like she didn't really get to know me in that time frame. It was just the fact that every time she hung out, you guys might be going, well, there's nothing wrong with that. You can deal with her drinking. Here's the thing. It's like if one person drinks and the other one doesn't, then what's going to happen is, it's like a lot of relationships. One person comes home from work, they just drink until they go to bed every night, and the other person's like, stop drinking, because it ends up becoming a thing they do. They get off work, they have to have cocktails all the time, they live that drunken lifestyle. That's not for me. It's like somebody who just hardcore works out all the time. They eat extremely healthy. They only eat the cleanest foods. And then you have somebody who only eats fast food and they're eating junk. They have candy. It's not going to work because there's 2 diets that are like, it's not going to work. It's never going to work with like Mr. Universe on this side, an overweight person over here. It's never going to work because they're going to wonder, why are you always going to the gym 7 days a week, 5 days a week for 2 hours at a time? Why are you doing that? Is there another girl there? No, I'm getting in shape, baby. I'm doing it because that's my lifestyle. Some people will never understand why I go to the gym every single day for an hour and a half at a time. Why do you do that? Because that's my lifestyle. That's because that's what I enjoy doing. All my friends are like, that's just Trevor doing Trevor. That's just him doing him. But at the end of the day, you have to know what you want. And nowadays in 2021, oh yeah, your boy definitely knows what he wants. And I could tell within 10 minutes of talking to the girl, like, nah, this ain't for me. But as always, guys, thanks for listening to one of the worst dates I've ever had, Alcoholic City.